Let's get to the bottom of this one. Unspoken truths that I miss one. Tap into the minds of the people, rather acknowledge before I dismiss one. Atheists, Muslim, Christians, Buddhists, they all got usage. All got perspective, it's a collective. Get to the bottom what the truth is. With our hearts uncovered, where detox from all of the lies you smothered. When them tries could have killed you, but with faith you recover. Yup. Peel off the makeup, we finna take off. Never said it'd be a cakewalk. Meditate till we charged up. Execute goes regardless. Decalcify my pineal. Breaking language barriers, we saw millennials. Planets passing age rotations, down me we owe. So down me we know. Sometimes we can be slow, that's why my ears open. Every drop you add could complete the ocean. Speak up, play your part too. Been vulnerable, it's so hard to.
Peace, everyone. I am Universe Badger. And before we introduce ourselves in a second, I just want to do a little quick insight of how my mental is. When the song was over, we were getting ready to go live. I wanted to say the cow says moo, and the cat says meow, and the duck says quack. I don't know why, but go ahead. Moon tortoise.
Do I have to announce how I felt before that?
You can do whatever you want.
Hi, I'm Moon Tortoise, and I felt good. Pretty blank, but good. Almost insane.
Ooh, I like that. Secrets of the Moon.
I like that.
Secrets of the Moon, are you with us? We have problems with Secret of the Moon. Okay, we're gonna skip her. Gilly. Someone's got mad feedback.
Is it me?
I don't know. Yeah, I hear it when you're talking.
It sounds like you said it twice.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Hold on. I can fix your mic from this end. It lets me do it. All right, try that. Moon Tortoise, try it.
How about that?
That's better.
Okay, that's good.
Okay, introduce yourself, SGF Graham.
SGF Graham. Ask me, I'm probably the coolest person alive. Well, I'm here to just speak my mind and hang out with family. You know, everything else you can go check out the other podcast and see what I got to say about myself.
That's right. All right, we got God I'm Willing. I muted you. Have to unmute yourself.
There you go.
There you go.
How you guys doing?
You are, and how are you?
I'm doing good. I'm feeling better today. Just trying to take it day by day and, be as happy as I can with the things that I'm doing.
Okay. We got Secrets of the Moon. Are you back? Secrets of the Moon, are you here? Gilly.
Oh dear.
Kim.
Who are you and how are you?
Who am I? I'm Gilly. I am here to join the conversation because I think it's important that we hear all voices, and I'm glad that you have a platform for that.
Short and sweet like you are.
Very short.
So, anytime you're with us, Secrets of the Moon, go ahead and let us know that you're back. I would like to start off by saying I'm going to put this in here in our comments.
The list.
And I would like my tortoise to read it.
You want the tortoise to read it? You want me to start with a question?
Yeah, what is it? No, I want to start off with this thing in the comment.
Okay. How about you ask somebody really quick, because I have problems with the
This
thing.
definition right here in the comments on the screen. This thing on the screen right here. Could you read that?
Okay. It starts off with VES, difficulty in shifting mental perspectives and unwillingness to consider alternative viewpoints, and a tendency to cling to established routines and beliefs. This can be manifested in various ways.
That's strange. So this is what it says in this one. It must be broken up.
Yeah, it is. It says
Okay.
mental rigidity, also known as psychological rigidity, refers to an inflexible way of thinking and behaving characterized by resistance to change and an inability to adapt to new situations. And it cuts. It involves difficulty shifting mental perspectives, an unwillingness to consider alternative viewpoints, and a tendency to cling to established routines and beliefs. This can manifest in various ways. From Badger.
Sorry. It's on there.
From
Oh. Stubbornness.
That's it.
In personality relationship. My phone just exploded.
Oh dear.
Swear.
Wow.
It really just blew off the table and exploded. That's it.
They don't want you to do this podcast. It's too controversial. You hear that, people at home? Controversial.
TikTok said.
Cool word.
Wow. Sorry, TikTok.
How's everybody doing while we get together?
So what is that? What is rigidity? That's what rigidity is, okay? So
Okay.
I have the definition of insanity, and I'm going to split screen real quick. And I want people to see that and see the difference. Now, this is what I searched. Now, when we were talking, Moon Tortoise and I were talking, that, you know, there could be the Mandela effect going on. I'm not saying it's ruled out. It kind of, you know, could be. But at the end of the day, it's up to us to find out the difference, whether it is or isn't. I mean, you know, perception is key anyways in life. So we got the definition of what rigidity is. Now let's go and see this about and they don't have really a direct definition of insanity. They just have like it's not a mental illness no more. So I just want to show you this real quick. And this is from Wikipedia.
Oh, here we go.
Yep.
Oh snap! Hold on.
So I'm just going to show you. It says insanity, madness. SGF Graham, can you see it? Anybody see that? I mean, you all can see it, but anybody read it?
I can see it. You want me to?
Just a brief. Yeah, just a brief.
Insanity, madness, lunacy, and craziness are behaviors caused by certain abnormal mental or behavioral patterns. It's violations or society norms, including a person in possession of becoming a danger to themselves or other people. Conceptually, you can stop right there. And
Yep,
it's been a while. It's gone through a few term shifts there.
Yep, and then this part that's highlighted.
Insanity is no longer considered a mental diagnosis, but a legal term in the United States stemming from its original use in common law. The disorders formerly encompassed by the term covered a wide range of mental disorders now diagnosed as bipolar disorder, organic brain syndromes, schizophrenia, and other psychological disorders.
Okay.
I see you've been digging.
I wanted the people to see, you know, exactly, not instead of just me saying. I wanted people to see firsthand on their own what we're talking about. Now, it could be the Mandela effect. I'm not denying that. There's a lot of things that's been going on that they're trying to hide from us and that they don't want us to know.
Can you explain the Mandela effect?
So the Mandela effect is where you think it happened, but it really, honestly, they're saying it never did. Like, I'll use an example. Ed McMahon was never in the publishing clearinghouse, never worked for them, never had a part with them, nothing.
There's a cool explanation for all that. They say in 1999, when everybody was freaking out about, you know, 2000, what was going to happen, what the clock and the calendar and everything was going to look like. It's said to believe that two worlds joined each other, and so half the people remember, like, it's a large collective of people that remember stuff. Like, majority of people I run into remembers Sinbad movie when he was a genie. Sinbad came out himself and said he never made a movie like that. I'm like, come on. Yeah, exactly. You know, and it mainly started because when I was in 8th grade, I remember in social studies, they were saying Nelson Mandela was dead. He died from a riot in prison. Then all of a sudden, this man get out, and me and all my friends calling each other like, hold up, didn't we get graded for saying this man died? Like, and that's where the Mandela effect comes from.
Man, we got a listener, Jeff. That blew my mind. And yeah, you're absolutely right, Jeff. It's a crazy effect. I heard that about 2012 as well. That was like some kind of dimensional shift. You know, it's kind of hard to pinpoint. Wayne Snarsky says, "Sorry guys, just got done talking to the policeman again. They're trying to lock me up again for being crazy again. I love the show. I'll watch it later." Wayne, I do hope you keep watching, and you always come off as a very nice individual to me. I hope you're doing okay, man.
In 2012, the Son of Man rode by on the white horse, and ain't none of the Christians or believers see it because they didn't know what they was looking for. The North Star crossed through the Pegasus constellation in 2012.
That right there is something.
We need a resident astronomer.
I believe in that too, though. At the end of the day, you know, we don't even know. So they say, okay, what was the definition? What is the definition of insanity that everybody knows?
Like the commonplace one? Everybody knows.
Anybody?
I mean, the act of doing the same thing, expecting something different.
Yes.
There it is.
Now, they say that came from Albert Einstein. They're saying, no, that never came from Albert Einstein. If anything, it came from this lady. She wrote this novel. And in the book, and I sent that into the chat. And in the book, they took that from her character and they passed it on down. And they only said Albert Einstein because he talked about change. I did do a little research.
The definition I always think of is the one that the law uses in terms of whether or not a person has the mental capacity to know the difference between right and wrong.
And that's
I think that can be confused for a person pretty easily if their reality in any way is being messed with, particularly on a long-term basis.
I agree.
There's also been so many terms.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
No.
So there's been so many terms coined for the mentally ill over the years, and it's been thrown around so much now that it's sad that this is a hard definition to pinpoint.
And I want to start off by saying that Jim Darvill said that I apologize. I'm not going to be, what do you say? I promise not to be disrupt the panel. And from last time, those that don't know, you won't know because I ain't gonna talk about it. Those that do, this is for you.
You guys are all awesome. You know that, right? Jim, I appreciate you saying that. You don't
That's
have
right.
to disrupt this stuff.
Nope.
We
Don't even worry
appreciate
about
you
that.
being here.
And he said this.
I believe that could be true.
So we don't need to talk about. Huh?
I would like to say that insanity got screwed up when everybody started making it broader and broader. Instead of leaving it directly what it is, they tried to see what else they can throw in that category. Kind of like the autistic spectrum, the spectrum. You know, with me being an RBT, just this year they threw ADHD into the autistic spectrum. So we're gonna have just regular ADHD kids, and they're gonna be like, "Yeah, he's autistic," or "She's autistic." I'm like, wow, like so, like they're just broadening spectrums to where people don't even know what anything is anymore.
I can get that too. And at the end of the day, I want to say this though. What I've noticed about the whole thing of the law though, is that they're trying to get it where everything's under the law. Every definition's under the law, your birth certificate, your rights, everything's under the law for a reason. And I think they're trying to take our, this is just me talking. This nobody else agrees, doesn't have to agree. But I think they're trying to take our amendment rights and turn it into something that is under the on statutations of a law. And because there's a lot that if you don't know, they're going to take advantage of you for the ignorance because it's not the law. So I think they're going to take a lot of our rights and turn it from where the Most High, the I Am, gave it to us, and they're going to take that from us and try to make it into a government law. So I think everything's because the law is through the legit legal system. Makes sense?
Hey, you guys, I'm here. Sorry.
It would be an epic failure.
Secrets.
And it will be an epic failure. I just wanted to say, though, that was my opinion of what they're doing. And that's why they took insanity and made it into a legal term. And it's no longer considered a mental illness. And it's no longer considered a diagnosis of someone's like mental history. It's no longer saying there's something wrong with you mentally.
I mean, under that definition, how would you explain that being a mental disorder? Like you would have to give me another definition to go by besides the common one, because if we're using the definition that you keep doing the same thing over and over, expecting something different, then the answer is to stop doing it. Or whatever. Like I don't know how you would put that under mental illness. Now, if they have a mental illness that makes them do insane things, then I get it. But the insanity itself, I don't see how that would be deemed as a mental illness, unless it's something unless you're diagnosing what's causing the insane approach to the things.
And what I was going to say, though, go ahead. I was just going to say my one part really quick, but go ahead.
Go ahead. I cut you off, but I got stopped.
You will forget. I just want to say from throughout time that it got passed on, and they started that at the beginning of the time when no one knew what insanity was. They started treating people as if it was a mental illness, and they started doing shock therapy and stuff in the early 1900s. And they took the word insanity as a mental illness and made it become something that they were going to try to treat. Now, the reason why, like AA used it because they wanted to scare people into change, into be sober. So that's where it came from.
I have a lot of thoughts on AA, but I don't feel like this is the place to dump them off, and that's me showing control. I'm not going to disagree with you. I'm not going to disagree with you. What I did though is I watched Ren and Stimpy growing up, and at one point they have Ren or Stimpy go hang out with the criminally insane, and it's this insanely drawn guy, and he looks like sadistic, and you can imagine if you see him. But criminally insane is a legal term, and it refers to the legal status of a person who has committed a crime but is found to be not guilty by reason of insanity. So, when people are tried for criminal actions, it is sometimes not to their detriment, but their benefit. That's where it gets real weird, right? Because if you have a brain in or something, there's having to happen when people have tumors and they do terrible things and think terrible things, and then the tumors are removed, and then they're a completely different person. This is not an isolated case. There's also several, schizophrenia and bipolar disorder causes violence. It's a big term, and there's a lot of things that can happen. And it is good, I think, to a degree, that we look into this and try to understand. But I don't think we look into it hard enough. I think we do lump it into just they're criminally insane. So maybe that's food for thought.
We lost SGF Graham. Could you tell him the first part of what you said?
The whole Ren and Stimpy thing? No, I looked up the definition for. I looked up the definition for criminally insane, and it's the legal status of a person who has committed a crime but is found not guilty by reason of insanity.
Yeah, that's just incompetent. But I just want to say something because I haven't spoke yet. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, very well.
Okay, because my system goes through the wire. But insanity is literally just a category. If we want to go back to the system, police officers make an excuse for it because they don't want to deal with it. I work heavy in the healthcare field. I've worked at psych units, and being incompetent and having issues, it's there, but it can go as far as being genetic. It doesn't have to be a tumor. It could be hereditary. It could be a lot of things. And what I find funny is that you can get a job and work at a psych unit, or you can work in behavior health, and you'll be required to take a training class to deal with those situations. Yet our law enforcement won't even take an hour class to be able to approach or deal with someone when they pull up. It's they don't have the time for it, so they just say that it's insanity. They're crazy. Back to someone else making a comment about schizophrenia. Schizophrenia is a great example for insanity. You hear voices, you're literally driving yourself insane, you know? So the police officers, they don't want to deal with cases like that. They don't have time to deal with people like that. They don't want to go through the training. They don't want to be coached on how to deliver it. I've literally never seen an officer handle someone who, you know, had autism correctly, even. I see them. I think there was like a case a couple years ago, and there was a little boy walking around in the neighborhood, and he had autism, and the officers drew a gun on him just simply because they didn't know. You know, they don't want to be educated on the fact. Insanity is a broad horizon. You can talk about it from being bipolar to schizophrenia to depression to all these categories, but until people are willing to be educated on it, it's not going to help. Even parents that have kids with issues, or a mate with issues, educating yourself is a big part of that, because being in having an insane moment, or being manic, or having these symptoms can be detrimental to someone who is not educated, you know. And the
Yeah.
system has definitely failed us. because they're not even willing to try. All you need to do is take an hour class to be educated on how to approach somebody when they're off their medications. To be cautious. Don't tell them that nothing's wrong with them, or that they don't see the voices. I know from working in a psych unit, we play along. Oh, there's a girl in the corner with the black dress on. I see her too. I'm about to beat her up. Let's jump her. You gotta go along with it, because that's the part where you're not gonna understand it unless it's you.
And who are you to tell somebody that their reality is wrong?
And who are you to tell somebody that they're not there?
That's
Exactly.
what I'm saying. Their
Absolutely.
reality is wrong,
So
because
that's
it's not, you don't see what they're seeing just because you don't see. So that's why I believe what
Nope.
SGF Graham said when he spoke on the two worlds coming together. That makes so much
Yeah.
sense to me, because people think differently. Who are we to tell them
Yeah,
what they
do.
think and what they see is wrong?
Absolutely.
I
I
want to
don't
say
think
on a
it's a
side
matter.
note. I want to say on a side note, and I'm gonna let you go. I want to say on a side note. This has nothing to do with the show. This is why Secrets of the Moon is on here, though. Even though her signal's crappy, is when she does pop on, and what she does says matter, just like Miss Gilly. Go ahead, babe.
Yes.
I just lost my thought. Um, no, I don't think that it's a matter of telling someone their reality is right or wrong, as much as if somebody is really having a hard time because their reality isn't seeming to align with the reality around them, which can cause a lot of distress for somebody who is dealing with not only schizophrenia, somebody who's dealing with abuse too, somebody who's dealing with gaslighting, somebody who's dealing with things in their life that are out of, somebody who's dealing with extreme depression or grief, or things that don't align, or cognitive dissonance and don't align with what they thought. There has to be a way to help people, not argue with their reality, but to help people get to a place where you can maybe help them understand that at least their reality isn't lining up with the greater reality, and help them sort of work their way into.
And I want to stop you there for a reason, because no, this is my opinion though. My father has dementia, and working in the medical field, what it does to somebody who has that, and if you tell them the reality is wrong, that will trigger them, and it will cause them to get worse, have outbursts, and to slowly deteriorate.
Oh, I hear you. I had a friend with a diagnosis of either schizophrenia or schizoaffective, but he had these grand ideas about not only what was happening in the world, but what his place was supposed to be in the world to combat these things. And I did not argue with the things that he believed that happened, or the things that he believed that were going on in the world. I did remind him that him just being him, not having to be the king or the savior or the whatever, him just being him was my favorite version.
Remember that for yourself, please.
I try.
Oh, it's all you can do, because at the end of the day, what I'm trying to help you overstand, and I can't force you to because it's not my place, is that the situation that we live in the moment, who's to say it's wrong? Somebody else, but it's not their life.
Oh, I totally agree with that. I think that there are so many intricate pieces that go into each place that we end up in our lives, that to just make an outside judgment on what the right or wrong thing to do is unfair without taking time to understand those complexities. So I am coming to terms in myself with the fact that I know I do things that other people don't understand. I know for a fact I do things that other people don't understand.
Who cares?
Whether I'm right or wrong, I don't know, but I'm making the best decisions that I can make with what I have going on, including my own mental health, including my own, a lot of things, a lot of factors, including the mental health of people around me. And I think that is true of most things. I mean, obviously there are things that we can say, no, that's not okay.
But again, that is just your
but
opinion.
sometimes you have a choice between not okay and not okay. If
And
that
then
makes
again,
any sense.
But again, you're going off a basis of how you feel.
Right.
Nobody else can tell you you're right or wrong.
This is right for me, and it's
That's
not going to be right for other people.
That's right. What the medical field used to with the do with people, they still do. The drug companies still do with people. And what SGF Graham was saying, what they're going to do with people is put a mask on an individual and say, this is what you are. And now even kids with ADHD is considered on autistic spectrum. That's, and I can't say it because at the end of the day, that's my opinion. My opinion only goes for my life and how I'm feeling and what makes me feel good about me. Anybody else's opinion is none of your business. It's none of mine. And that's what I wanted you to realize. However you feel about you is exactly only how you feel. If anybody else tells you that's what they think of you, then they are gaslighting you. Because at the end of the day, who cares what they think? You need to get better for you so that you can deal with you. Because those that love you deal with you.
I receive that.
Nobody is asking you to stay wherever you want to stay in your mental state. You have that choice. Not saying it's right or wrong because that's not my place. I love you and I want best for you, whatever it may be. I don't think like Moon Tortoise, not even a little on a lot of things. And I don't care because at the end of the day, I sleep well that night with myself and so does Moon Tortoise and others. I'm just saying.
The shell house.
Bathhouses. We have a bunch of comments. Can we get to the comments real quick and then we can go
comments
through the table?
Hold on, I'm recovering. Yeah. Okay. Cool Vibes introduces. This quote makes sense from AI. It says, Chili Mo, insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results, quoted by Albert Einstein. The lack of change or adaptability. Side note, its refusal to alter one's approach despite repeated failures. The simple could be considered a form of madness. Release your mind. Also, cool vibes. From a psychological perspective, this kind of behavior can stem from various factors, including rigid thinking, fear of change, or a flawed understanding of cause and effect. Jim Darville. I've been part of the community of mental health for 13 years now, and with my mental illness, I am bipolar and schizophrenia, so I know a lot about what people are going through because what I go through. I am on medication to control the symptoms of what I have. Now, I hope it works for you, Jim. Well, bring laughter to the panel. I don't know why that made me laugh. Cool Vibes introduces basically we need to live more, worry less, and it says the great support himself, Chili Mo. Wow, I have spoken respectfully. Said, of course, that was really hard to read, but I feel you, man. I'm listening to the Jim Darville. Listening is the best aspect for any conversation. I couldn't agree more, Jim. Cool Vibes introduces. It's important to learn from past mistakes and experiences, adjusting one's actions to achieve different results rather than stubbornly repeating the same patterns and expecting different outcomes. We go through the different seasons for different reasons. We must empathy, so empathy to others. Dismissiveness is illness. People tend to spread amongst others. Help me, you is always the plan of action. Everyone matters.
Oh.
And Jim Darville, if you don't love yourself, how can you love anybody else? It's an important aspect that we talk about on many occasions, Jim. It really is. We gotta love ourselves first.
And that's
I
the
don't
last
trust
comment.
AI. Not the last comment. I don't trust AI.
All right, so we're gonna go through and we're gonna pass the mic, and everybody gets to say something. So, Moon Tortoise.
Something.
Ah,
But you weren't ready for that. What do you mean? I agree. I think it's really funny that Secrets of the Moon has been on the podcast for 3 episodes. Really hasn't said a hell of a lot, and then says what she said, which I really, really appreciate. Um, I've been watching cops lately deal with people full of mental illness, and yeah, they are not therapists. Let me tell you. Unless your therapist is carrying a pistol with them, possibly a canine unit. You know,
or
it's
empathetic.
yes, and no, yeah. I've seen some show some empathy. It's rough. It's rough. It gets really rough, and it's good to have that eye on the medical field. And I don't know where Gilly's kind of coming from to an aspect. One of my friends her son has very very severe autism, and you get thrust into situations where he will put his head through walls and punch through walls, and it's a very hard thing to deal with, and it's very hard to talk to him. And you got to really show a lot of love to his world, like what he likes around him, to kind of break him out of that, and do it very very carefully. So you do got to interact for sure. It's like, and again, it can be really like dangerous and sad. But I love him. He's really awesome. And more 9 times out of 10, you just join in the clapping and dancing, and you end up clapping and dancing for a long time, which is something I love doing, and that's just awesome. So the ups and downs are scary. I'll say that.
Okay, we're gonna pass the mic on to Secrets of the Moon.
I'm not going to. Secrets.
Nope. We'll pass the mic to SGF Ram, and then when she comes in, she
Nope,
can.
I'm here.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, so what was the original question?
There was none.
Oh, we were just making statements.
Yes, of how you feel about what we've talked about.
I feel like it's very educating. Just having a simple discussion like this and everyone giving their viewpoints and thoughts is interesting and fun to know how people think and perceive things. Um, I would say that it is a serious matter. Of course, mental health is always serious. Um, but a lot of things, um, a lot of things in the world have to be gone through. You have to go through something, to know something, to learn something. Um, just like Moon Taurus, you were saying about an autistic kid hitting themselves, in the head. Um, Even though it might be uncomfortable, um, it's just a symptom of them not knowing how to express their emotions or their feelings.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lack of output. They still have feelings like a regular person, but they don't know how to execute person. Um, and I see that a lot. And trust
Mm-hmm.
me, they do not feel the pain. Um, but I do think that mental health is something that needs to be aware. People can do a drive for mothers. They can do a homeless drive. They can do all these things. But where do we really get into the community and expose people to having mental health issues and knowing how to navigate that, or even giving them simple resources? By the time that they get resources, they're in jail, and the resources in jail are not helping them, or they have to go through these extreme measures to just even get educated, and not to put a black and white on it, but especially in a black household, because it's very different. We're not raised to talk about our emotions. We're not raised to express them. It's what happens in this house stays in this house. It's mind your business. It's oh, you'll be okay. It's always an excuse, but there's no one ever there to really guide us. And it's like you can be in a house. You could be dealing with issues, right? You could be dealing with illness all your life, and you're struggling. But it's not until you do something dramatic that gets you in trouble, or you stem towards the support system, or some way it leads you down another path where they're bringing the resources. Why come we can't get those resources at home? I don't understand why there's a guidance counselor in high schools and they don't have counseling for kids. They should make songs to tell their kids, don't touch my private parts, tell my mom, my dad, and my teacher. You know, there's no counseling. There's they don't feel safe. They don't have friends, or they're not comfortable, or like I said, you live in a black household, you cannot say it. You're not even confident to talk about things, because if you talk about things, you know that you could get a whooping, you could get in trouble, you're gonna get on punishment. So it's no positive reward for learning this, and this is something that we need to navigate through life. Everyone needs mental health skills, and tools, coping skills, things that they can do, all kinds of stuff. A lot of kids would be fine if they play a sport. They don't even have the guidance or a father figure in the house to tell them that they need that structure, that discipline, that tough love, that man role, that person there. So I love the conversation. I'm all for these kind of talks. I love to advocate about mental health. It rocks. And that's my input.
So I want to say something on behalf of what you said. Not disagreeing with you on the whole in a black household, because that's your perception and you're allowed to have that. At the end of the day, it happened. Everything you said was in my household too. And I'm German and Irish and English, and I wish they would have had that, like you said, because the counselors got my mom out of my life and put me with my dad and took me out of special ed and everything, because I fought for my rights to get back, to get tested. So she wasn't getting that money from the assistants in the state and stuff. And I wish they would have had counseling for me to tell me that my body was sacred and I was worth it. Why my mom was at the age of 13 telling me it's okay to have sex with whoever and stay home. I waited, but I didn't wait long.
I totally agree. I'm not trying to make it a black and white kind of thing.
No, I agree. That's what I'm saying to you too. I love how you said
I'm just voicing what I know the black culture deals with.
Right. And I love that you said that.
Naturally hitting there. This is something that it's not, it doesn't even have to be taught. It's kind of like you just know that you're not supposed to do it. Like
me too. My mom touched me and I was told what happens in the house stays in the house. And if I go to anywhere and talk about it, I'm getting beat. Me too. And so I'm not saying you're wrong, but at the end of the day, I'm saying to you, I wish kids had therapy, like you said. And I wish the teachers took a therapy class, even like something to teach you about illnesses and whatnot and the signs. Because if somebody told me that my body was sacred and that I was beautiful and it was okay to speak about it, I probably could have stopped myself from going back and back and back and back to her house by my choice, because I just wanted my mom. And she was letting grown men look at me in the shower and because she thought it was okay. And if I spoke on it, then I was going to get in trouble for it, because what happened in our house stayed in our house. And I've seen a lot in our house and it shouldn't have happened. And it wasn't the fact that, and I did soup kitchens and I struggled and I wore hand-me-downs and I was made fun of. And they told me the only way I could get help for my son once I had my son is once he got into the system. And I had him young. And once I got into the system, I couldn't get him out. And they label him because he's Hispanic. So I'm not downing what you're saying, because everything you're saying is accurate for the most part, statistically, and what and there's nothing wrong with that. But I really agree with you 100% when you said they don't have that for children, in that, or the judicial system, like cops and stuff, need to take. They don't know what it's like. They're took a paraplegic person and ripped him out of the car, and he kept saying, "I'm paralyzed. I can't stand." And they're like, "Yes, you can. We just saw you running down da da da." And they falsely labeled him because of what he looked like and what the stereotype is. And they said he was lying, and that someone said it was him. And they find out that he really is paralyzed, and it wasn't him running, and it was a false, But the system itself is failing. It really is. And I don't want to say it's just a culture thing, but I'm not saying you're wrong, because you know your culture. But at the end of the day, my house was pretty fucked up, and so was moon tortoises. And I don't know if it is just a culture thing. There was no resources for my parents to be parents, and no one told them how to love, and that we were sacred and that we mattered. Nobody tells their kids they matter until they realize that they're in a system where they don't matter. So they're going to pour that to their kids and let their kids know they matter. And I want to pass the mic to SGF Graham, because I haven't heard him say much since the whole Mandela thing.
I really don't have nothing to say.
Okay.
I'm just
Chili
listening.
Chili Mo, you come on. Did you have something you wanted to say?
No, I'm just listening. I'm just chiming in with everybody. I appreciate you letting me on the show. This is a powerful episode.
Oh, thank you. Moon Tortoise, did you want to, or I know Gilly wants to say something, but did you want to ask a question? I feel Gilly's energy out.
No, let Gilly speak. I want to hear Gilly.
Okay, Gilly.
So there's a couple of things that I thought were good points, and then a couple of things that I wanted to comment on. Secrets of the Moon had said something that I thought was a good point about how it's not positively reinforced when you speak in the home. And I know that, for instance, in my home, I was often encouraged to keep the peace. I didn't do it well. I spoke often. But then when it came to things that would dole out consequences on others, that's when I tended to be quieter. And it wasn't a matter, because for me, and reinforcement can be positive or negative depending on the person. What's positive for me is not necessarily positive for another person, as well as what's negative for me is not necessarily what's negative for another person. For me, I had this intense fear that I still carry today, as far as hurting other people. And so, for instance, in the home, if something were to happen, and legally I could have done something, to me, I was so afraid of that other person hurting, when I felt I could just handle it. I could get on with my life. I could handle it. I could find ways to understand them better. I could find, different behaviors to do around them. I, became more hyper aware and hyper alert of moods and changes in tone and things like that, in order to sort of try to keep myself safe in my own way, rather than doing something that would have caused more trouble. I had that habit in my home. I had that habit with my friends. I had that habit with people I dated. When I had kids, that's when it started to change for me. And I know there's been more changes since then, but that's when I spoke about everything. I was incredibly protective. I felt it was important to let them know they matter. I think my mistake was I still wasn't acting as though I matter. My emphasis was on they matter. Sometimes that emphasis even created a dynamic where my kids were pretty hyper aware that they mattered more than me in terms of the dynamic that was set. And so there could even be, instances where I was mistreated. And in general, my kids are great. This is not about that. But where they could mistreat me if they were angry. And that wasn't necessarily a good thing. And obviously it wasn't that way the whole time. I think after years of being in a relationship that wasn't healthy, where I was disrespected openly, it changed what they had permission to do, because even if I set a boundary, even if I made a rule, there was another parent in the house that was going back on that. And so it created more chaos, more arguments. And sometimes I had to make a choice. Do I want peace overall, or do I want to fight this battle and set the example? And, sometimes we have to make those hard calls, and it's not ideal. And I left that situation. Now, when I had my kids away from me, because my mindset was always that other people mattered more. And when I had children, the natural progression was my children matter most, not most than all humanity, just within our household, children are the most important because they're the future. But it was very hard for me to, I think it's very hard for people who have this idea that other people are more valuable, and what happens to, and that people do bad things for all sorts of reasons, and that punishment, I also am not a punishment person. And so I think that in general, I don't think of punishment as much of a deterrent, because people do things then to avoid the punishment. They don't necessarily do the things that they're not supposed to do. They just do things to avoid punishment. And so I've never thought of punishment as a really good deterrent. I think there are prison systems in other places in the world that go by a model of rehabilitation, and I'm missing the word, but a more compassionate approach to even the worst of criminals. And they seem to have success with that in terms of rehabilitating the people who then come out of the system and do not go back into it repeatedly and do not go back into those behaviors. I think it would take decades, if not years or more, to change the prison system here. But in general, now, particularly without my kids, self-esteem affects things. It's not a matter of sanity. Sometimes it's a matter of choices, environment, self-esteem. Sometimes it's a matter of not valuing yourself as much as others, even if you value yourself. And a negative reinforcement for me is to see people hurting. And that's something I have to work on. But I don't think I'm the only one who struggles with that. I think there are a lot of people who struggle with that, particularly if they were raised that, that there was a hierarchy in the family. And so yeah, I mean, I'm having trouble bringing my point home. I'm just saying that I was somebody who spoke out all the time. Not necessarily. And when I had kids, I even spoke to the law. There were consequences for that.
I don't want to get too far. I don't want to get too far off.
Okay, so not in my own life, but there are consequences in the law and in the court.
It has nothing to do with your life. I want to talk about insanity and rigidity. I don't want to go too far off on the fact of how the subject.
Well, sometimes our choices may appear insane to others, but they're not seeing what we're actually trying to avoid or what we're actually trying to accomplish.
I want to tell you something real quick, personally. I'm proud of you. And what you said made a lot of sense. And it makes a lot of sense now on a lot of reasons why you are the way you are. And acknowledging that, I'm very proud of you. And good job for you. Your ADHD got the best of you on that one, but I'm proud of you. And I'm opening up and releasing is a good way of healing. And I let you do it because I'm proud of you. It starts with acknowledgement.
I hear you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Moon Tortoise, let's ask a question.
So my ADHD, and if they lump that into it's pretty bad on its own. I hope they don't lump it into something else. That would be bad. I just need to target that.
They are. That's exactly what as Chef Graham says. They are lumping it into bipolar,
yes,
or not bipolar, but autistic spectrum.
autism. So I will say this. I think something is this boils down to a huge issue is when cops don't know anything and have to try and de-escalate situations with people who have mental illness. How do we do that? Because we really we can't have therapists sit in every cop car. So it really begins with why can't we fix the police?
Well, every lawyer,
why can't we get more?
Every lawyer has to go, or every judge has to go in front of the exam and learn stuff. They all have to know the law. So there's no reason that become a cop. You cannot learn human psychology just a little bit. The basics.
I think that it would be interesting if they sent mental health professionals along with policemen.
No, you can't. That's dangerous. At the end of the day, that's dangerous. But I think everybody should learn it, regardless if you're in anything with the system, like an ambulance driver or anything. I think everybody should learn it. If they have to learn in CPR. I
do think, yes, CPR. We have these things. I agree with that. I also think that it would be a good idea to, we have enough money to fund having therapists come out alongside or shortly behind crisis response, right? Send firemen out, we're putting them in harm's way. Send the EMTs out, we put them in harm's way. We should have someone there. The problem with that, I feel like, is it's just not feasible all the time. At 4 a.m, and for quick response times to situations that are incredibly volatile, it would be bad. So that's where it really is going to come into training. A lot more training.
Yes, and not to interrupt you, but agreeance to you. Because if you are going to be our peace officer and bring us peace and protect the peace, then you should know what's going on. I think you have to have more study, and your mental capacity has to be tested at all times, because you are holding guns and you are drawing tasers on people that can get hurt. You are causing harm with weapons that you have, and you have this authority thinking you're better than everybody because you have that authority, when you work for us and you're supposed to protect us.
We're very vicious to people.
I honestly think people that are in power, in control over things of us, including our mates, including our parents, because a lot of people ain't okay. And it's not talked about, and it's not heard, and it's not listened to. Everybody's worried about themselves. Everybody's worried about themselves.
I do have to add one thing onto that too. You're not wrong, and this is why, one of the reasons why is because in dealing with the last situation with the addict and their family going through everything, the cops barely knew what to do or could do anything with the addict, causing all of the theft and damage and terror to his own family. And let alone did the cops give two shits about what the family was going through. A couple of the ones I talked to, it was a little bit on the empathy meter, but that empathy meter should be breaking. Like when the Grinch's heart blows up, because it gets so big and he goes down and starts getting into an orgy with all the Who's and Whoville or whatever he does. I forgot. It's just, we need to really really, they didn't care. And it sucks because the family's really suffering. Indirect people suffering they should care about. And they don't.
I want you to ask a question from the list of the questions, and I do want to make a point that everybody can have kids, and everybody can have a choice to be mindful of themselves and be okay. But when you're not okay, for some reason, people don't have that want to say something. You have the ability, but they don't have that want to say something because they're worried about what somebody else thinks. That's insanity.
And worried about what somebody in authority thinks, because somebody in authority thinking, having a judgment.
There's no authority over self.
Situation.
There's no authority over self. It's a choice. We choose to give them.
Hold on. What was that? What was that?
Somebody in authority having an opinion can impact the life of the person that they're having an opinion about, right? They sit there and they make judgments. They're called judges. So their judgment, their opinion can impact long-term the trajectory of a family, of a person's life going forward.
You give them authority. You give them authority.
Well, you don't have a choice sometimes. You have to.
Yes, you always have a choice. The only time you don't have a choice. The only time you don't have a choice, but you wouldn't have put yourself in that situation in the beginning to be in front of a judge. I'm just saying.
No, I'm talking about your actions put you there. Judges for civil matters. We go in front of judges for,
yes,
for
but
all
your
sorts of things. That's not criminal.
No, I get that, but the actions put them there. I never went in front of a judge except for first ticket, and my actions put me there.
Right. Have you ever gotten divorced? You have to go in front of a judge.
My actions put me there. It's an action that put me there. Without an action putting me in front of a judge, without an action put me in front of a judge, I promise you I won't be in front of a judge unless I have an action that put me there. Get it?
I hear what you're saying.
Okay, so at the end of the day, I give them that authority to have authority over me. Nobody has authority over you, let alone.
You don't always have a choice. There are certain civil matters that somebody can bring us to court for. I mean,
it doesn't matter. What I'm trying to say, actions. So that's all I'm trying to say. There's actions. There's every action is a reaction. There's an action for that. So one pin. I'm not saying you're wrong, but one pin. I want to get back on track, but one pin. I want to say this. The only time you have no choice is when you're a newborn, when you're an infant, when you're a toddler.
I think there's a difference between no choice and all choice.
It doesn't matter.
Can you acknowledge that? There is a difference between having no choice and having all the choices.
I can acknowledge that. But the thing is, at the end of the day, they are not your creator. And they're not your mind. And they're not you. It's not their life. It's yours.
Correct. But with power imbalances, sometimes there is an inequity in your ability to make decisions. Children are a good example.
And that's it. And I'm going to use that. Yes. But after that, it's all of a choice we've made of our actions. And the thing is, at the end of the day, we give that control to people. And we allow them to have that control.
Well, and people with mental health issues or people just going through a mental health crisis, they may not have a diagnosis. They may just be going through grief.
That's why I said a lot of people don't speak about their mental health. If you spoke on it when you thought you shouldn't have, I really want to get back to the subject. We're going to lose interest. We only had one viewer. We had 9. So I'm letting them go because I feel breakthrough with you, but I really want to get back on topic. But I do want to say something to you. You're not wrong for however you feel. But today, you don't have no authority over you, but you. You can't change yesterday. In this moment, right? This present second moment. Nobody has authority over you, not even to be on this podcast. And that is not negative. That is love. Because I love you and you're not wrong. But today, because you can't change yesterday and you can't change tomorrow because it never comes. In this moment, you have authority over yourself. I do want to get back on topic. Henry, could you read one of those questionnaires so we can get audience back?
I will. And I gotta find it again.
And we are on
Which is
TikTok
not
too.
far. It's not far. So, do you want me to go in order?
No, just because some of them will ask about your own personal lives. So let's skip those ones and ask each other other things besides getting too personal about.
Okay, this is a good one.
Okay.
What patterns are holding you back today?
There you go. And that's about the subject. What patterns are holding you back today? And we're going to start off with you, Moon Tortoise, and we're going to work our way through.
Uncertainty.
Uncertainty. Keep going. I'm going to mute myself.
Oh, you want me to keep going? What patterns are holding me back? Uncertainty and my constant worry about clocks and time, which is an illusion. But it isn't, because you gotta eat and sleep. Some people disagree with me, but you do. So, yeah, it's that. It's not having enough time. What patterns are holding me back? A lot of social media and stuff I've been using, I've been taking a break from because it's been driving me crazy. So I got sick of looking at it. So I had to dial myself back from a lot of that stuff. But yeah, uncertainty and time management are patterns that have been really, really messing with me lately. And I'm not ashamed to admit that. That's it.
Okay, we're going to pass the mic on to Gilly. Gilly, keep it simple and so we can keep on going.
Overthinking, oversharing, allowing others to speak over me as though they know more because they're having an easier time articulating things that I'm having trouble articulating. Procrastination, probably due to the overthinking, and not acknowledging my value in every moment.
Thank you for sharing that. You are so beautiful in so many ways. So beautiful in so many ways. Chili Mo.
I wanted to flip the question, but I will reiterate. I say time management. I think it's not enough time in the day. Because solitude is my go-to, my safe space. So learning is pushing me forward. So that's why I was gonna flip the actual question. But yeah, time management.
I agree with you because you think that tomorrow is not going to come and you're trying to put it all in the moment. And I respect that. I like that. We're going to go to Secrets of the Moon. What is the question? I got ADHD. What is the question again?
What are the patterns that are holding us back?
There you go.
I would say personal would be procrastination. Fear of failure. Um, Perfectionism. That change is too hard. Doubt. Waiting for the perfect time, and lack of confidence in a sense for me.
I love that for you, that you are aware of that. And thank you for sharing that. for me, I will say that I really don't have a lot of confidence in me also, and I'm learning to. Also, I want to be unbothered by a lot, and I'm actually really bothered by it. And I don't want to bother people. So I'm so trying to be unbothersome to people that it bothers me. And I run from things. And so I want to give people the benefit to change, to grow, to see things. I really want to help. And there is a time and a place that you should help, but when it comes to watering yourself down and putting you last and accepting what's beneath you that you don't put out, it's hard. So biting my tongue in situations, I want to have more patience and just remove myself a lot more, but I don't trust myself because I didn't always do good with me. So them are what's holding me back, because I do run. A lot of people that love me dearly and that love me, I've left because of situations scared the crap out of me quick. So now I'm trying to stay in situations that scare me quick because I'm having more control of myself and not having panic attacks and stuff. So I'm trying to not run, yet still being respectful of myself, and I don't trust me. And I'm just learning too. So I believe that's holding me back. So what's the next question?
Okay, let's see here. Which strategies have helped you break unproductive cycles?
Moon tortoise.
Putting up boundaries, spending time with myself and getting to know myself and love myself. Putting an emphasis on creative outlets that I had been scared of before. So I find, jumping in and accepting change and trying to do things and putting an attitude in my head that I only have one life and I'm running out of time to do it, and I should probably do it now instead of procrastinating on it. That's been helpful. I like that.
What was the question again?
What strategies have helped you break unproductive cycles?
Gilly?
Well, SGF Graham and I have just started doing a manifestation, sort of waking up in the morning and putting your focus on the things that you want rather than all the things that you don't want that are in your current life, as well as right before you go to bed. And also trying to do something differently each day. So this was my first day of starting that with him. And that's been a shift in mindset more than it's been a shift in circumstances. But I think that's important. Henry, you mentioned the creativity, and I am working on building my confidence in my own creativity, not being my own worst critic, and being willing to be exposed. And other strategies that have helped me is, if you've got somebody that'll stand by your side, let them.
I love you so much for that. I'm so proud of you today.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah, I'm so proud of you today. You know, I'm gonna pass it on because I forgot what it is about again. But Chili Mo, you remember?
Yeah, the pattern. Yeah. So with me, I laugh with my family every day. I call my kids, and also read a lot of books. So, and also I try to sleep early. So I try to go to bed. Probably gonna go to bed after this show, actually, and to reset my brain and to start my mood over again. So every day I wake up, I call my kids, I laugh, I call my family members that answer the phone, and I laugh. So laughter, meditation, and prayer help me.
Mm, I love that for you.
Yeah.
Secrets of the Moon.
Um,
Start off by saying what the title, what you're talking about, so I'll
that's what
remember.
I'm trying to remember. I
Go ahead, Henry. What was it?
Henry. I'm a terrapin. Um, yeah. What strategies have helped you break unproductive cycles?
right. Strategies that help me break unproductive cycles um would be acknowledgement and self-awareness. Um Simply just being kind to myself. Um Cultivate positive habits. Um let's see. Maybe developing healthy coping strategies, not something that I've done all my life to try to help, but doing something outside of the box. So trying new things, different things, getting out of my comfort zone helps me cope. Um, and I would say boundaries and assertiveness. Um, you know, they have toxic patterns and a lack of boundaries can be difficult to um, one's needs if you're not aware of that. So
I love that. I love getting to know you. I love you sharing with us, and I love your energy. You're so
thank
beautiful to
you.
me.
Love you too.
So, did you get the gift that I left?
Yes, ma'am. I opened the door and it fell out.
So, speaking of gifts, I want to show Moon Tortoise this real quick. I made this for you.
What the heck am I looking at? I love it. It's a mirror.
It is the mirrors, and I put it on cardboard on this thing so you can hang it over by where your room is now. But I made this for you, and this is like, it reminds me like of an angel because you're my sun, and because since you've been in my life, I have blossomed and learned to love myself correctly, and I love everything about you for me, and I'm so proud of you, of your growth, and you are so important to me. You are so important to me because in a world where you felt like you didn't matter and you didn't exist and you were a burden to life, to have you come into mine was a beautiful gift for me, and I want you to know that. I want to get to my husband real quick before I say my thing. And could you repeat again what we're talking about for him? Hi.
The question.
Yes.
Hi, Danny. The question we are asking, it's great to see you, man, is which
How you guys
strategies
doing, man?
which strategies have helped you break unproductive cycles? That was what I was asking.
Thinking about it, um, going over what I've done to make the disruptive pattern even happen in the first place. The type of person I am, because my ego can be big, and I don't like to think that I'm wrong about stuff. So if I feel like I know, I'm a thinker, and I think about stuff. Sometimes I think about it after the situation has already happened, and then I'll go back to it and I'll think about it so that when it happens again, I'll handle it a little bit better. And I've been proud of myself lately because, and it just dealing all the way around in general. I've had issues with that. It's a growing process. I'll be turning 40 next month. Oh Lord, and I still am learning and 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 growing and healing, and it's okay. So that's what I do. I just think about it. Um, just think, because when you think about things and you look at it and you tell yourself, how can I handle this differently? Uh, then when it comes around again, you won't be all the way up here when a situation comes, and you'll be able to be at this level. For me personally, I don't know. Everybody has something different, but that's just mine. And that's it.
Them are the things that you're doing every day to get you to be able to think.
Yeah, I'm trying to think about. I had a situation today, and it could have went south, but I just thought about it and handled it in a really good manner. And I'm like, I had to take a minute to think, and I'm like, man, I'm proud of myself for that, because if I look at the Danny from even, because I'm not even the same Danny. The 10 seconds from now, I won't be the same Danny that I was 10 minutes seconds ago. So
Period.
it's like I was like, damn, man, who knows how I would have handled that maybe 2 weeks ago. And it's just growing, it's a growing thing.
So, do you want to say your positive quote and stay on for a quick second? Because I'd like to tell you something.
Yeah, absolutely. There's hope. Just keep striving, and don't think that you can't accomplish anything. We all have a choice. Keep growing. Gilly, you keep growing. I just wanted to tell you that. From the time I've been on here, I've seen a growth. And I want to tell you, just like the team do, that I'm proud of you. Sometimes it feels good when you hear more than just one person tell you that. So I just want to let you know that I'm proud of you, and just keep going, because things do get better no matter how bad they seem. And I'm living proof of that. And so just keep growing. That's my positive words for the night.
I love that for you, and I love you to death. And I want to tell you
Thank
something.
you.
And I mean, I love you to death, literally. But anyhow, I do love you. So the thing is, I want to say to you that what I acknowledge about you that you're really working on, and I don't know if you're aware of this, but you're trying not to take things personal. You're trying not to take things as an attack. And you're really working hard on it, and I've noticed it, and I'm proud of you. I just want to let you know that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And that is true. I'm really am trying. I'm a trying man.
That's all that matters. That's all that matters. Well, thank you for coming on.
Yeah, no problem. I love you guys, man. It was a great episode. And everybody on the panel, I hope that you guys have a good rest of the week. And I love you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Danny. Aw,
So,
he's sweet.
it's super sweet. I love me some him. So I forgot the question again.
The question is, what
Strategy.
strategies have helped you break unproductive cycles?
Haha, Gilly, you're not the only one. I forget everything. So the strategy I've been practicing a lot lately, and I love it. I want to do so much. I am business from the time I wake up to the time I go to sleep. I want to do so much that I bit off more than I could chew, and I realized it. And so now I'm helping, even if I'm not helping 50 million people like I want. I'm helping one person make a difference. And that's all I can ask for, because it's not about everybody knowing. It's about helping everybody know themselves for themselves. And so I'm shutting my phone off on Mondays at a certain time, and I'm keeping it off for a few hours, and I'm beating me, and I'm fighting my addiction. And I spoke to Tortoise about it earlier, who I love, but I was saying, I miss so much. But anyways, I was saying that not feeding my addiction because I can, and not letting it become something that has control over me, and not letting it become a mental illness or a downfall. I am doing things for me that I've been wanting to do for me, and that loving myself correctly and setting healthy boundaries. And I really honestly love myself for the first time my whole entire life, that I'm able to show people, because I mirror such beautiful people. And I believe we do meet people in our trauma that we're in. And I do believe we leave people in the trauma that we're no longer in. I do believe that. I believe everything that I have said about me, because I am me when no one's around, unapologetically, authentically. I will bust out into a ditty in the middle of the street because I love me. And I don't care what people think. At one time I did, though. So I was attracting people that cared about what people thought. And now I'm mirroring such beautiful people that are growing and healing and becoming more beautiful for themselves. And I love you all so deeply. You guys all mean something special to me. And every one of you, every one of my supporters, everyone that really loves me for me and sees me when I couldn't see me, because I didn't like who I used to look like with these eyes. And I can't see out of them anyways. Anybody who knows me knows I can't see crap.
I was finna
It
say,
is what
didn't
it
like what you used to look like, little juicy. Okay.
But what I'm doing is shutting my phone off and watering me, and not worry. I never worried about what people thought of me, and I'm letting people know, and I've been letting people know a lot lately, that I don't care what other people think of me. Please don't bring it to my attention, because I don't need to know it. I don't even care what you think of me. I love me, and it's not conceited wise. It's because I'm a vessel loved from the Most High, of pure and genuine intentions. And I'm not perfect, but I'm striving to be. Because I'm a vessel loved from the Most High. And the universe speaks to me. So I want to reach a mass variety of people. So I'll take moments and I will watch people's lives on TikTok and stuff. And I will have people join me. And I will go to their page and support them, because I know what it's like to not be loved. So I'm extra loving me. I'm extra loving me. And I'm removing myself from things that I can't change. So them are my things. And I know I was long-winded on it. What's the next question? Moon toward us, and then we're going to do positive quotes.
You want to go through one more question?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Just a brief
I can
one.
stay for one more question. All right.
A brief.
Let me see at the end there.
Oh, I didn't get to do my quote.
Nope, we're not doing that yet.
Oh, we're not doing that yet. Okay. All right.
All right. So how about this one? Am I growing mentally stronger this week by challenging at least one stale pattern? And my answer to that is yes. Yes, I am. That's specifically what I'm targeting. And that main one is dissociating, and because of that, procrastinating. Okay.
Okay. Now, Gills.
Did you want me to do it? Oh, okay.
No, you can do your positive. You want to do your positive quote now? Go ahead.
We can. My positive quote is
or message or whatever.
Let's keep open discussions going about this, and then maybe we can actually spark change where we can. So the goal is to get more help for the people suffering and more training for police officers, and that's not unreasonable to ask as a civilian or anything. There, that was my positive quote. Is change that shit.
Okay. Now, what was the question? And then Gilly's positive quote. So what's the message? What's
Am I growing mentally stronger this week by challenging at least one stale pattern?
Yeah, I'm realizing that You know, you had mentioned, Kimberly, something about running, and in the more recent years, I've gotten in the habit of running back, running and running, and a lot of running. And I have decided that running is not helpful, and that I can handle what's going on, particularly with the people that I love, and that's it. And as far as my positive quote, have compassion on yourself and watch dirty rug cleaning ASMR, because there is no bad thoughts that can come to your mind when you are watching pounds of mud and dirt come out of a rug masterfully. And that's it. Find somebody, find something that can take you out of your head if you're somebody who's in your head a lot, and then get back to your life.
I love that. Thank you for that. Chili Mo.
Is this the positive quote?
No, this is
Oh, oh.
this is the question and a positive quote. The question is, mentally, do you feel that you have tackled one of your things that were holding you back? Do you feel this week that you've tackled one of your things that are holding you back and you feel mentally strong? Something like that. Am I wrong, Moon Tortoise?
No, you're right.
I would
It
say
is
yes.
exactly. Am I growing? Yeah, you got it.
I would say yes, you know, by not accepting everybody's agreements and not looking for validation. So I definitely tackle that. I tackle that every day. So that's kind of one of those, I reiterate that every day. And my positive quote to end it, I believe everybody should read books. To all the listeners, to all the people that's chiming into the show, if you can't trust a person, you can't trust a book.
Maybe.
I love
Look
books.
at the Bible. I'm just saying, maybe. All right, we're gonna pass that on. Secrets of the Moon.
All right. I feel like you said what we've tackled.
Do you
Yeah,
feel
am I
mentally?
growing mentally stronger this week by challenging at least one stale pattern?
Um, I have. I've been getting out of my normal routine. Um, uh, Sometimes being OCD can be mental, and you're so stuck in your patterns on what you do, and you stay to yourself, you don't talk to anybody, you go to work, you go to sleep, you do this. um I have been coming out of my comfort zone, being a little bit more social. And I'm proud of myself for that, because not to say that I'm not a people person, I just don't know how to initiate all the time. So I would always be the friend that's there, but sometimes saying it first, or being the one to call first or text first, can be a struggle for me because I'm dealing with my own issues. Um, a positive quote that I can say, um, I would just say, don't believe everything you think. Uh, the mind is very powerful. Um, Sometimes just a crack of a small thought can have you running wild about things. So don't believe everything you think.
I love that. And I want to read SGF Graham's real quick. His positive quote
Yes.
is "You're worth however much you know you are. Be priceless." I love that.
That's dope.
I love that. Um, I don't want to get too much into have I, because I am mentally strong within myself. I do have that ability and that control over it, and I do well with it. I'm, like I said, I am marrying such beautiful people that are growing. So obviously I must be, because we do mirror what we're around, because of what we see, because if not, we will remove ourselves from it because it doesn't look good on us. If you all can receive that. So I want to say a few things. What I wanted my positive thing to be is start seeing yourself better. And then you're going to start seeing the people around you better. But you got to start with you first. Recondition how you see you. So that's my message. And I also want to mention the 19th, we have a Stop the Violence event coming up. I've been posting on Facebook. I'm going to post it again on TikTok. And I want to talk about that. And then Thursday, we're going to talk about what was the title? I forgot the title, Henry. Jeez. I do forget things, honestly, but I remember things, not of this, of Thursdays. I will go to your page and find it because I told you it. So Gio, God I'm Willing, and I are going to talk, and all of us are going to talk about this on Thursday. So I want to let you guys know ahead of time. Thursday's show is going to be about why the system fails good, and then dads, and then it says people. And why does the system fail good people / dads? And I also want to talk about next week on Tuesday is going to be about being in the moment. SGF Graham and I are going to talk about being in the moment. So that's what you guys can look forward to. And I appreciate all your guys' healing and continue coming on. And I'm so proud of all you all. And I'm so proud of me, first and foremost. Anyways, may everyone's night be full of positive energy and high vibrations. And thank you for tuning in. Love yourself because you matter. And so does your mental health. Hug yourself. Deuces.
Yeah, whatever. There it is.
Let's get to the bottom of this one. Unspoken truths that I miss one. Tap into the minds of the people, rather acknowledge before I dismiss one. Atheists, Muslim, Christians, Buddhists, they all got usage, all got perspective. It's a collective. Get to the bottom of the truth is, with our hearts uncovered. Where we detox from all of the lies you smothered. What them tries could have killed you, but with faith you recover. Yeah, peel off the makeup, we finna take off. Never said it'd be a cakewalk. Meditate till we charged up. Execute goes regardless. Decalcify my pineal, breaking language barriers, we saw millennials. Planets passing age rotations, down me we owe, so down me we know. Sometimes we can be slow, that's why my ears open. Every drop you add could complete the ocean. Speak up, play your part too. Been vulnerable, it's so hard to reflect on all the juice like torture. It's on you, tell the truth.
Yeah, we about to have a good conversation. Yeah, let's go. We about to have a good conversation. Yeah, let's go. We about to have a good conversation. Yeah, let's go. Listen. Yeah, aim in the fit so you see in the mirror. Play with your focus and watch it get clear. Polish your crown, turn it up if you wear it. You live in the root, release what you're fearing, and watch it all rise. The righteous will hear it. They calling us twisted, I'm not even caring, because it's unseen. The mind is too barren. They won't even heal it. They pass it to cheering. We over here healing, conversing and listening. Know that the truth isn't always appealing, but end it with healing and find your beginning. Frequency positive, what you receiving. Perception is up to you, what you believing, what you retrieving. Mentally speaking, life that they breathing. No words from a heathen. Don't know it all, but together undefeated. Conversation, rather want it, you need it. Come fill up your tank before it's depleted. Don't care if you calling on Allah, Jesus, Buddha or Christian, not being facetious. Come to the trial with the students and teachers. All got a voice, we the ears that'll listen. We the ears that'll listen. We the ears that'll listen. Conversation, rather want it, you need it. Come fill up your tank before it's depleted. Don't care if you calling on Allah, Jesus, Buddha or Christian, not being facetious. Come to the trial with the students and teachers. All got a voice, we the ears that'll listen. We the ears that'll listen. We the ears that'll listen, hey. Yeah. We about to have a good conversation. Yeah, let's go. We about to have a good conversation. Yeah, let's go.
Praying for truth cause the world is so fickle. Keeping my mental, how clean is a whistle? Attention's a trap, they can lead you astray. Steering this ship through the storm and the haze. Real conversations are lost in the greed. Others get lost in the web that it weaves. Sift through the rhetoric, uncover schemes. Knowledge inherited, this is imperative. I got a lot on my mind and I'm sharing it. Apples to oranges, it ain't no comparisons. I'm the type that'll never break character. I'm the type to make memories and cherish them. Trust intuition and doubt of disparity. Pursuing the echoes of wisdom, chasing that moment of clarity. Conversation, rather one if you need it. Come fill up your tank before it's depleted. Don't care if you calling on Allah or Jesus, Buddha or Christian, not being facetious. Come to the track, we the students and teachers. All got a voice, who the ears that'll listen. We the ears that'll listen. We the ears that'll listen. Conversation, rather one if you need it. Come fill up your tank before it's depleted. Don't care if you calling on Allah or Jesus, Buddha or Christian, not being facetious. Come to the track with the students and teachers. All got a voice, who the ears that'll listen. Who the ears that'll listen. We the ears that'll listen.
It's on, you tell the truth. Let's get to the bottom of this one. Unspoken truths that I miss one. Tap into the minds of the people, rather acknowledge before I dismiss one. Atheists, Muslim, Christians, Buddhists, they all got usage. All got perspective, it's a collective. Get to the bottom where the truth is, where the heart's uncovered. Where you detox from all of the lies you smothered. Where them tries could have killed you, but with faith you recover. Yeah, peel off the makeup, we finna take off. Never said it'd be a cakewalk. Meditate till we charged up, execute goes regardless. Decalcify my pineal, breaking language barriers, we saw millennials. Planets passing, age rotations down me, we all